Okay, go ahead and open up the drawing that is going to be a sketch-driven pattern. This will be the last video on patterns. And so what we're going to be doing with this option is we can create copies or instances, but they're going to be controlled in an arrangement by using sketch points. So we're going to sketch something. It can be in any direction, any shape, and our instances are going to follow that sketch. So the one rule is this: we need to create the sketch first before we create the pattern, which seems obvious, but that's something that we need to consider. So we're going to go up to linear pattern. We're going to click the down arrow, and then we're going to select sketch driven pattern. Now, one thing to consider when we draw our sketch is that basically only points are going to be used for the pattern creation. We can use other geometry such as lines and curves, but that is only going to be used so we can position actual points on the sketch. Once the pattern is created, those sketch entities will be ignored. So I got ahead of myself, so go ahead and red X this, close this out. We're going to go ahead and we need to create a sketch on this. And so if we come up and we get a front view, you can see this is a plate. It's meant to be a structural steel plate. It's already got 4 holes on here that were created using a standard linear pattern that we've done already. And if we click on this and then right click, we can create a sketch. Up in our sketches, we've got point, and basically points are a great way to use. We can use these for many things, for establishing the center of a circle or the end point of a line or whatever, but that is what we're going to use to establish where our instances are going to go. We're going to start up here with a line, but we're going to use the down arrow, and we're going to click center line. And the center line is used for reference, but it's not going to be picked up by anything. And we will hover around that hole and pick the center line, center point of that hole, and we're going to go up here and we're going to pick the end point of this rectangle. And so there's our sketch point, or I'm sorry, our center line. And now we are going to set some points along this line. So we're going to go ahead and add 3 points along this line. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to select point. And I'm just going to click here. And you see how that line turned orange? That means and it gives me the coincident symbol. So I'm going to click here so I know it's right on the line. I'm going to put another one here, and we'll just put another one up here. Now, one thing you can do is if you're not right on the line, or it's not that hover's not working for you, even if I put this line over here, what I can do is if I green check out of here, I can come over here and select this point, hit my control key, and then select this center line. Oop. Still thought I was in the point mode. All right. Let me escape out of here. Okay, now if I highlight this point, I go ahead and hit my control key and I select this center line, it gives me the chance to add a relationship to that, or a relation. And I can add a coincident, and it brings that point right onto that line. So now we're going to add some dimensions, and the first one, we're going to go from this point down to the end point here. I guess I need to select Smart Dimensions first would help. So we'll go from this to this. And this first one will be 225. And then we're going to go from this endpoint to this point, and that's going to be 125. And then from this point to this point is going to be 125. So now we've got the points dimensioned and where we want them on the plate. So now we can create our pattern. Okay, so now we're going to go up to our linear sketch patterns. Let me back up for just a second. I forgot to exit this sketch, so we need to exit the sketch first. Now we can go over to the linear pattern, and I can click Sketch Driven Pattern. And we want to make sure that we have centroid. And under selections, under our flyout here, we're going to pick our sketch that we just did. And then our features and faces, we can come up here and we can select whole. And what you can see is our preview. It gave us the holes here over the points that we created. And so now we can click OK. And now we're going to create a new sketch. So go ahead and we'll right click on that face again, and we're going to create a new sketch. Okay, we're going to create 4 more points, and we're going to make it look like the book. This one we're going to use inference lines, and so I've got point selected, and I want to come off this one horizontally, and it looks like in the book that other one comes off that hole vertically, so we'll put one there. And then the other one is also horizontal, but it looks like it might be vertically aligned with this one. And so if we hover on this one and bring this inference line down, we should be able to get a cross point, put one there. The other 2 points look about here and about, will come off horizontally about there. Okay, we're going to exit that, click the green check mark, and now we're going to use a different tool that we're going to use to define the sketch automatically and make it fully defined. I don't use this too often. Sometimes I find it to be more of a hassle, and I just go in and I dimension things and put relations on things individually how I need them. But what we can do is come up here to Tools, Dimensions, and then there's an option for fully defined sketch. And what do we want to define? Well, we want all the entities. We want to, do we want to add relations? So it's going to select all appropriate relations and then dimensions. And so it's like, where do we want the dimensions from? And so if yours, it supports chain dimensions, baseline dimensions, and ordinate dimensions. We're going to choose baseline, and we want to go from this point, and we want to choose baseline here for the vertical dimensions, and we also want to choose this point. Last, they're asking us where we want to put the dimensions, and we're going to say below the sketch and to the left of sketch. And we're going to go ahead and click the green check mark to say OK. And then what we can do is we can drag these over. And drag these down. And so what happened here with this dimension is this last hole ended up not being in line with this one. And so what we're going to do with that is we're just going to put a relation on that, and we're going to click on this point, and it'll probably give us an alarm. And so what we're going to do first is or an error, I should say, instead of an alarm. Hit escape. We're going to delete this dimension, 6.3. And then we're going to go in and we're going to click on this point, hit Control, and hit this point, and I'm going to add a horizontal relation. And what that did is it brought this one in line. And now if you look down here, it's still the sketch is still fully defined. And now we can go edit these to make them look like the book dimensions. And so this one, if we click on it, should be 50 millimeters. And this first one here is going to be 110. And you can either hit the green check mark or you can hit enter. It has the same effect. And we've got 165. 220 for the next one. And then this last one, 275. And last, if I want to change these arrows, because this is the only one where the arrows are on the outside for these horizontal dimensions, I can click on this. And over here on the left, if I go to leaders, and see right now it's got this, it's smart, but we're going to click this one, and it means the arrows are going to move to the inside of those leader lines. And now it all looks uniform. So go ahead and exit the sketch if you haven't. So we'll click on that. Then we're going to come back up here to linear patterns. We're going to select sketch driven pattern. And for our selection, make sure that the new sketch here is selected under selections. Under features and faces, we want to select that hole again. You can see our preview. And we're going to click OK. And now we've got 4 holes on those points where we sketch them. So again, just another example of how we can, put features or cutouts or whatever we want, just using a different method. Go ahead and save this and hand this one in.